Hello and welcome back to Turf Moor House TV, and we are back with another match preview. Domestic football's back. Get in! Yes, yes. Although to be fair, 5-0 win against the hardest team in our group, which I mean, um, one of those. It was good to see actually England put in a good performance, to say the least. But yeah, we are back with domestic football, and it's a good chunk of games to be played at Turf Moor as well. We've obviously start with this Liverpool game, then we have Forest, then we have Cardiff in the cup as well. Then before we get to beginning of October and our City thrashing, but you never know. We never know. So do look Burnley under Scott Parker. Weird things can happen. But yes, I'm so delighted to be here with this man to my left. What an absolute gentleman. Great guy, can call a friend as well. And Douglas Horn, Liverpool through and through. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. And tell people a bit about yourself and your love for LFC.
Well, Dan, thank you very much for having me. It has been an age since we've done something together, so I'm
Massive.
absolutely delighted to be here. So thank you very much for the invite, and obviously hello to everyone in the chat. Yeah, Liverpool fan, but my YouTube channel is the Dugout Football channel, but it's a sort of mainly sort of football based. I know I do a lot of Liverpool stuff, but I do Premier League, Championships, Scottish content. There'll be Champions League content, Europa League. You can basically name anything. So yeah, please do come and check me out. But no, it's a pleasure to be here tonight, and I'm just glad we're doing something again because it has felt a
Yeah,
long time since we've done something.
100%, 100%. It's always nice as well. I think sometimes I'll try and pop in on people's channels and things like that, and it's difficult because obviously, as you know now, with having kids and things like that, having to juggle life, and you've then got to realise that this is just a hobby, Daniel. As much as you want it to be, you'd love it to be a full-time job. It's not. It's just a hobby. And you've got to juggle that. But no, I'm so glad that we've been able to, get to this point again. Thank God we got promoted. Otherwise, it would have been a lot freaking longer. Unless we'd have gone up to and played Livingston in a friendly or something, then maybe I'd have said, "No, I've not spoken to Doug in a while. I need to speak to him. Get him in." But no, just Ryan's in the chat. Says hi, Dan, big up, and hi to Doug as well. Like I said, get your comments in, please do. If you
Hello,
feel
Ryan.
free to ask any questions whatsoever throughout, and like I say, we'll chinwag with you lot and we'll ask you questions. Please do like, share, subscribe to the channel. It helps with the algorithm on YouTube. Please do that if you can, and also show your support to Doug as well. Doug, just tell people where they can actually access your stuff as well.
Yeah, YouTube is the Dugout Football channel. I'm on Twitter at nrod_92, Instagram at Douglas.horn, Facebook at Douglas James Horn. I'm also on Twitch as well, Douglas Horn LFC 92. I'm on TikTok as well. Basically, you can find me here, there, and everywhere,
You
except
social
OnlyFans.
media slut. That's what you are.
Safe to say.
But no, let's get into it then. Obviously, champions. Let's start there. Champions going into this season. Then, what was your initial thoughts before obviously all the transfer window madness?
I mean, it's been a long time since we retained it. I think you're going back to sort of the 70s and 80s when we used to sort of retain it a lot. Always the league for me. No matter how much you want to say, like you want to put it on, obviously like Champions League, etc. as well. Always the league, and yeah, we've had a pretty good summer in the transfer window. Probably our most expensive transfer window I can think of.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been a long time coming, but I'm kind of happy the fact because the last time we won the league, obviously 1920, we didn't really strengthen. Like there was obviously you could probably go through that window and go through it. I think Seth Vandenberg was signed, Harvey Elliott was
Yeah,
signed, Fabio Carvalho was signed, Thiago, and obviously God rest his soul, Diogo Jota was obviously signed in that window. So yeah, we didn't we didn't really strengthen to the degree that we've strengthened this time. But no, high hopes for this season, to be honest with you. And fingers crossed that fingers crossed on Sunday, because I know it's obviously the 14th of September, and yeah, last season on the 14th of September, our winning run came to an end. So there is a wee bit of an omen there
Oof.
for Burnley.
There is, there is. I mean, let's talk about obviously the start of the transfer window. Then, just are you happy with the business that was done at the start? Well, obviously we'll get on to deadline day and the madness surrounding that, but were you happy with the incomings and certain players leaving?
Yeah, look, I think it was highly documented that Trent was going to go to
Yeah,
Madrid. Um, So the fact that we basically announced him leaving to them basically announced on the same day that we had signed Jeremy Frimpong, I thought was really funny. But no, sort of like for like, I know Frimpong's been injured a wee bit, but I think that was a very good signing. I think it was documented, highly documented as well, that we were going to get Milos Kerkez as
yeah,
well. I think that was always going to happen going to happen as well. And then obviously Florian Wirtz was one that was
that
sort of
was a
dragging on.
brilliant
Yeah,
signing in my eyes.
it was one that was sort of dragging on, and it was sort of coming to that where we will we get him, or will we sort of do the Liverpool thing and pull out. But I think the thing you can say from our sort of transfer window point of view is we've gone for our main targets this summer,
Yes,
and we've refused to sort of say basically no. Basically, we'll sort of, if one bid gets rejected, then another bid gets rejected, then we'll come back for like that third third and final bid, and that's what happened with obviously Florian Wirtz as well, and then obviously Ekateki followed as well,
yeah,
and from what I've seen so far of Ekateki, I'm very impressed. I think he's been very good, and actually, when you think of strikers coming into this league, only 22 years old, same of age as Florian Wirtz as well. So that was obviously good to see as well. And then obviously there was Giovanni Leone as well coming
yeah,
in from Parma, which again made sense. Considering the sort of the age of obviously Virgil van Dijk, I think he's what 34 now. Um, 34 is now as well. Obviously, Kanati is going to be, potentially going very soon. And I think when you look at, the first four signings were very good. Um, add to that as well. You look at Marmadashvili coming in this summer as well. So we've obviously been we've got two of the very bright goalkeepers, and obviously Allison and Marmadashvili. And then obviously the last one, Alexander Isak, to get a like one of the best number nines in world football as well. And again, that saga just went on and on and on to the
yeah.
deadline day
What's your
madness.
thoughts on that? Because obviously it's a bit different when you're seeing it from a team that's not purchasing the player, but when you are
Yeah,
that team that are trying to bring him in, like, does that worry you a little bit that all of a sudden, say a Barcelona or a Real Madrid and a big foreign name sort of comes calling, is going to be that same hard work character while with you? Does that worry you a little?
I'll be honest. I'm not happy with the way he's conducted himself over the window. I think there's certainly a way of sort of conducting yourself. Prime example, Mark Guehi.
Yeah,
We could have potentially got him in, on the deadline day. Didn't in the end. But I think throughout this whole sort of transfer saga, when he's been linked with Liverpool, he's got his head down and continued obviously to play football. The way Isaac has obviously conducted himself has been very disappointing in my eyes. But look, I said at the start of the window, as soon as basically Isak to Liverpool was being mentioned by obviously journalists, etc., I thought, right, there's definitely something to this, because you wouldn't get all this sort of media hype
no,
about one player. coming to Liverpool. But obviously, you look at other players. Obviously, Visa's done the same thing to get his move to Brentford. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember sort of Victor Gyökeres did something along the same lines. Not to the extent of obviously Isak and Vissa, but he kind of charismatic
We
as
had it with
too.
James Tarkowski when we tried to sign him from Brentford when they were
Hmm.
in League One. I think he kept coming out with, "Oh, I can't play today. I don't feel very well. I've got family issues and things like that." And then he came to us, and then he come out with the same stupid line when it was the link to Everton. It was just like, "Oh, come on! Like you can't play these games. Fans see the patterns. Come on."
Yeah. So no, I think disappointed obviously if how he's conducted himself, but the fact that we've got Isak, Ekateke, Gakpo, Salah, Wirtz, Chiesa, and obviously the the young 16-year-old Rio Ingamoa, who I believe is turned 17 in October. Um, yeah, that's a frightening front sort of four
Massively.
or five. So yeah, very very exciting. As I said, I'm still a little bit concerned about the defence, but having said that, I do think that they'll be strengthened in the right positions. Sobozlai is like a new player at right back. So it's to be honest with you, not playing well but getting 9 points from 9 shows why we're champions. We
Yeah.
don't play well, but we still get the result.
I was going to say that. I watched obviously the opening day against Bournemouth.
Yeah,
You were very expansive, trying to get on the front foot, and hands down, pardon me, the better side on the day. There was just that spell where Bournemouth, like I say, had their moments,
yeah,
capitalised. They were clinical in those moments where they came about. Did that worry you? Because looking at the last couple of results, like you said, it finished 4-2, Newcastle game 3-2. Obviously, the
yeah.
Arsenal one was a little bit different. But again, yeah, even as far back as the Athletic Club for the against Athletic Bilbao, you played pre-season.
Yes, that's right. We
Yeah, you beat them 3-2, but then the Palace game, so it was a case of, like you said, you were worried defensively, um, and where do you think that stems from? For me personally, I think the weak link in that defence has been Kanate,
yeah.
which is a shame because he's in my FPL team and I need to take him out. I've just remembered, so I need to sort that out.
Watch, he'll score on Sunday.
He'll bag a brace, the bastard. He'll do it. I'll tell you. I'll be fuming.
No, like I think it's been highly documented that Kanate is definitely something's going on with him. I think it's the
Is his
I want to
contract up in
sort of
the summer?
I think it's more sort of this contract negotiations.
Hmm.
This has been dragging on for the last 12 to sort of 18 months, and obviously there's more stuff came out after the international break that he's been speaking to Mbappe. You know, as I said, don't believe everything you read, but there is definitely something there. I will say he had a very good game against Arsenal. He was far better against Arsenal than he has been against Bournemouth and Newcastle, because Bournemouth completely allowed Semenyo to just run the length of the pitch and
Yeah.
basically score that one, and then the Osula goal for Newcastle let him run as well. So there's definitely um, a bit of concern there, which is why I think we sort of went for Mark Guehi. I think if we had got Guehi, then that would have been really, really good. But as I said, there is always that chance to go back in January. Um, I'm not going to blame Palace for what's happened on their part. Obviously they want to keep their captain. Obviously Glasner said he was going to potentially resign, wasn't he? So, and obviously Steve Parish as well. He's got a lot of
There were a lot
answering to
about
as well.
that, weren't there? Because I think, wasn't it, on the
Mhm.
final day they were hoping Igor from Brighton was going to join them, so that
Yeah,
freed up Guay to make the move, and then Igor's had his medical. and then all of a sudden gone, hold on a minute, West Ham want to talk to me, so I'll just nip in a taxi, get to the opposite side of London, and just try and sort something out. It was a strange thing, but it literally went right up to the wire, didn't it? And it's just a shame when something like that, because I think Guay would have just been the icing on the cake for a fabulous transfer window.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously, the the young lad as well from Parma, Leone. He's only 18, so he's got a lot to a lot to happen as well. So no, like I'm really happy with our window. Had we go Gui, I would have probably said 10 out of 10 window. But I think it's probably an 8 or a 9 out of 10 window, because I think if you look at where we've strengthened, left back we needed to strengthen, right back we definitely strengthened. We've got that creative player we've been crying out for. We've got Ekateki, we've got Isak. Obviously, I know this is really sad to say, but Ekateki definitely replaces Jota,
Yeah,
which is always going to be very, very sad. Obviously, this top means a lot to me, because obviously I've got Jota on the back of this top as well. So it's it's been a really, really hard summer. Obviously getting that news when it's almost news where you're like, I don't really want to believe it. But when it
yeah,
sort of strikes like that, and first I obviously heard of it was obviously like I'm in a lot of like Liverpool group chats, so we obviously like shared everything in there. And the first thing I saw was like a Marca newspaper headline, and I actually had Jota on it. I was like, I really hope this isn't true. And then the more it gets to sort of 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then it basically comes to reality. I actually remember being in. I work in an office, so I remember actually being in that day. And when I heard that news, I didn't know what to do. Like I had to get away from like my laptop, just basically go a walk, clear my head, get a cup of tea, etc. I still couldn't believe it, because literally this is a player who was basically had got married, had basically got his whole life ahead of him, has 3 lovely kids, lovely wife, and for all this to be sort of taken away, and especially his brother, we can't forget his brother as well.
yeah, yeah,
It's just really, really sad. So I think there's more of an extra momentum now for, I think, the players to try and get that number 21, because basically I know Jota's gone, but what a way for him to sort of bow out. Obviously, get wear the number 20, sign as a sort of the number 20, and win number 20 as well. It's he will be forever our number 20, but still very, very sad with what's happened. And yeah, I think there's extra motivation this season to definitely do the job.
yeah. I can see it being one of them that, come the end of the season, it will be probably mentioned that you
Yeah,
know that the spirit of what's happened obviously spurred on the rest of the team to go on and fight for everything, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And
yeah,
obviously, from a Burnley side of things, it'd be so. I'm so happy not to be able to see Jota bag against us. That's one positive. Um, but obviously, when you look at the actual situation itself, no, I'd rather him still be here playing football, plying his
yeah,
trade, and that's one thing I've got to give massive respect to Liverpool for. That they've still got him down as part of the squad. He's still got his own dressing room, his own part
yeah,
in the dressing room. They're still
yeah,
paying his wages up until the end of his contract, honouring all that, and that just. I think Liverpool get a bad rap. Don't get me wrong; they do get a bad rap, and it's little things like that that shows the solidarity, the fact that he was when you've got someone who's one of your own,
yeah.
you take them in, whether you've adopted them or not. So I've got to give Liverpool tremendous credit for what they've done, how they've dealt with it. And like I say, the whole of football obviously is with the family and friends of Diogo and I forgot his name. Is it
Andre
Andre, that's it.
Silva. Yeah.
And Andre as well. So yeah, our thoughts are with all of them. So yeah, obviously we'll talk about the Mark Guay situation. Like you say, the Canate thing as well. Van Dijk's age coming into fact. Were you surprised that there wasn't that Liverpool didn't have a plan B if the Mark Guay situation, well, as it said, didn't work out? Were you surprised they didn't also have more irons in the fire?
Yeah, I think because there's been a lot of talk, obviously, about that Diamondi at Sporting,
Yeah, yeah,
and he was one that was sort of on my list of like alternatives to sort of Mark Guehi. So I was a wee bit surprised we didn't sort of go for him then, but I was a bit surprised. I'm actually surprised we didn't actually offer Gomez to Palace, so like for like a season
mm,
loan. Um, because I think there's obviously been talk that I think Brighton were in for Gomez actually on deadline day, but
yeah,
obviously nothing materialised there. But um, I think had we sort of maybe offered maybe Gomez to Palace, then maybe it might have happened. But look, I think when you kind of look at the whole sort of situation, this obviously all stemmed from obviously the Community Shield.
yeah,
We've obviously had an interest there. Um, it's disappointing we didn't get him, but as I said at the start of the show, there's no better way for him to there's no better way for him to basically continue to play his football, knuckle down, and you know the best possible thing for him now basically is just to continue on with his football and
yeah,
do what he does best, and that's captaining Crystal Palace. And the goal he scored against Aston Villa the other night is unbelievable for a centre back to curl it into the top corner. So no, I as I said, I am disappointed we didn't get him, but as I said, there's more chance of us to potentially go back for him in January. If it has to wait till the summer, then there's potential that goes as a free agent. We get him then, but he has to take into consideration that it is a World Cup year, so he will obviously want to play consistently as well. And I think at Crystal Palace he would definitely get that.
yeah,
Had he came to us, I do think that he would probably replace Kanate with the way that Kanate's been playing at the moment. Kanate's been very, very sort of inconsistent, but this hasn't sort of stemmed from like the start of the season. This has sort of stemmed from like the last sort of 6 to 12 months. He's been very,
yeah,
very inconsistent, and as well as that, we've known for a long, long time he's been injury prone a lot. So there was obviously that aspect in sort of going for Mark Guehi, but the squad we've got, I'm very, very confident in us going for going for all four this year. Whether or not we win all four is another matter, but I don't think I think it's highly unlikely that we'll go for all four. But I want to go deep in the Champions League. I want to definitely go deep in also the Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup. That's an absolute bonus for me as well. But I want us to like give a go in all these competitions because that FA Cup game against Plymouth, I felt that game we didn't really give a good account of ourselves. So I
yeah.
want to basically attack all the competitions this year and see where it leads us. But obviously, you guys on Sunday, Atletico Madrid on the Wednesday, and then it's they have Anfield the next again Saturday.
The games come thick and fast, but that's what I prefer stuff like that. I won't lie, I do prefer stuff
Oh,
like
100%.
that. John in the chat says, "Are we playing a back five?" I'd suggest we probably might, like we did against Spurs, but I don't know. We could play with like a back three that potentially just plays the wing backs forward. So it's like a back five, but essentially also a 3-4 in transition. If you get me. Um, if I just hope we don't concede six as well, like you said. He says he thinks there'll be some surprises. I didn't think we would get 2 against United. I didn't think we'd get 2 against United. I thought United would have come out of the blocks after that Grimsby situation. But when you're facing 12 men in a game, like you expect to do at Old Trafford these days after the Grimsby situation, it was bound to happen. And I hope to see Brozier. He's played for Albania during the qualifiers and stuff, so I expect him to at least have some sort of part. But he's not been played as a striker for Albania either. He's been playing out on the wing, which surprises me as a when he's one that it just doesn't strike me as a winger at all. And then we have Chris, who says my 2 favourite non-Leicester City presenters, and then he said we're not available. So here's Dan and Doug.
Nice to see you, Chris. Nice to see you, mate.
He says it's nice to see a double D. You can always count on Chris. What do you mean? Is this the longest answer to a question ever? That's what he's saying to you.
Well, if you know who Craig from Up the Chairs and All Departments does,
yeah.
Chris refers him to Paddy from Emmerdale. Now, I don't particularly see it. I more see sort of James Corden in him. So there's always that tendency for sort of James Corden to answer a question, answer a question and basically give a really, really long response. So I'm certainly nothing like that, Mr. Forian.
He has said fair point. He has said a fair point. Let's talk about the last game then. Obviously, the Arsenal game, 1-0. A lot made up about it in the media, as to be expected. But again, Arteta the bridesmaid, and you managed to get the job done. A 1-0 win. Beautiful free kick by Dominic Szoboszlai as well.
It was a very, very interesting game, that one. Tale of two halves. I thought Arsenal had the better the first half, definitely, and then we definitely came out in the second half more firing. We basically beat them at their own game. We beat them by a set piece. Because I swear, and I keep saying this, all Arsenal did was literally sit back and basically catch us on the counter. That's what their game plan was, and to basically try and get like a set piece to grab a goal. They never looked like coming into our box. We were sort of the more sort of attacking team to sort of to go in that second half. And the more the game went on, I always had a feeling that we'd get that opportunity. Didn't think it would obviously come from a beautiful free kick by Szoboszlai, which I'm kind of hoping now he does take more free kicks, because if you look at what he does for Hungary, there's obviously always that clip of Szoboszlai scoring an absolute banger of a free kick. I don't know what it is, but they keep sharing that clip. It's like basically saying, "Oh, Szoboszlai scored against this team. Szoboszlai scored a fantastic free kick against that." But then I'm like, "It's the same free kick." So
I've got to admit though that the angle that when it showed it on the ref cam,
yeah,
where the ref that angle for the ref's view on that free kick was phenomenal. Like even I'd have walked away going woohoo! Like, it was some goal, and the stats would say as well. He became the first player to score a direct free kick in a Premier League match between Liverpool and Arsenal since Philip Coutinho in August 2016, and the first at Anfield since a Patrick Berger strike in August 1999. So that is something. Let's not take away the fact as well that Arsenal were 15 games unbeaten away from home as well.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing to take away from that, is that we've basically beaten them now. It certainly lays out a marker for the rest of the season, but this is what Arteta's going to be questioned about, is basically his sort of style of play when it comes to playing against the top six away from home. Against Manchester United, like they won because of a goalkeeping howler. It's as simple as that. Manchester United were the better team in that game. Um, and it's whether or not he can sort of adapt to try and win at these grounds. Old Trafford, okay, he's won at Old Trafford, Etihad, Anfield. I could even put St James's Park in there because St James's Park is an absolute, it's a real struggle for Arsenal over there. So it's all about basically trying to answer these critics as well. But I didn't see anything to suggest that Arsenal were going to win that game on last 2 weeks ago. Um, because again, like the one thing as well you could say about Arteta, he's very stubborn. The fact
Yeah,
he basically came out and said, "Oh, Saliba was injured in the warm up." Well, why did you play him? You obviously had Mo Squera. Like Mo Squera was probably their best defender on the pitch. Obviously, Gabriel as well. The time wasting. Honestly, I, I, Arsenal used to be a team I really liked. Like you go
yeah,
back to like the early noughties, the early sort of 2010s, Arsene Wenger style of football. You've obviously got the Invincibles, but since Arteta's taken over there, he's just made them so heated almost, and it's obviously stemming from the fact that they people like to call him Stoke 2.0.
yeah.
When they score the amount of free kicks that they do, then it's no surprise to say that. But it's just a time wasting timber. Like, yes, if you've got cramp, you can definitely go down. But the fact is, Gakpo was trying to help you up off the ground, and basically just said, "Nah, I'm just going to just stay there." And Gakpo wasn't having any of it. Basically, went to try and get Timber up again. Gakpo's having none of it. Just piss off, etc. So
Don't blame you.
no,
It's that old school saying, isn't it? Game's gone.
yeah, exactly. So, but no, a huge win against Arsenal, and yeah, I'm so glad that Arsenal fans have basically not been speaking about their unbeaten record against the top six away from home, and we took it away from them.
Well, the one thing you do have, obviously, is your longest ever run of consecutive games in the top flight history that you've scored now in 37 consecutive Premier League matches, which is your longest ever run. I mean,
Yeah,
it just goes to show the testament of what you're doing behind the scenes in terms
yeah,
of trying to get forward. Obviously, it has left you prone to those, little bit weakness at the back with having to try and attack. But I think once you find that balance out, you'll be fine. But what have you made of the attacking intent? Like you said at the start, the players you've brought in, the caliber of players, the age of those players that could still get better. Um, what have you made of your attacking intent this year?
it's it's very exciting when you've got like the likes of obviously Gakpo, Ekateke, Salah, Wirtz, um, obviously Isak to come in there as well. Um, some of the players we lost, like Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, played their part. I'm not going to say anything bad about those two. I think they definitely played their part, and obviously we wish them well. I think as well to tell you as well, Harvey Elliott as well. He played his part.
Yeah.
He's obviously going to Aston Villa there now as well. But it's Salah's Salah. He'll the thing with Mo Salah is he'll go through like a whole 90 minutes and maybe not doing much, but he still grabs a goal. Still grabs a
He's
goal.
just one of those
That
players you
that's
can't take off. It's
yeah,
unless he's having an absolute shite game from the get go, then you're a bit like, right, maybe today's not the day. But there's always that little moment or that little glimmer with Salah, and I think that's why he's such a coveted footballer.
yeah, 100%. And yeah, not bad for a one season wonder. I think it's 10 goals in 9 opening day games is absolutely scary to say that,
It's
say the
phenomenal
very
stat.
least. Oh, it really is. But no, I think he's still a danger man for this weekend for sure. As you said, Jota did love a goal against you as well.
Yeah,
But no, I think there's something different in the attack this year. Gakpo's finally getting his chance at left wing. I think he's been really good. So obviously signed a new contract as well, which is great to see. You've obviously got Chiesa now. I'm kind of hoping that this is sort of the start of his Liverpool career now. Um, Kind of sort of stagnated last season, which wasn't his fault. He didn't have a sort of a full sort of pre-season under his belt, but he's managed to sort of knuckle down and to get his first goal against Bournemouth was really
yeah,
good.
took
And
it well as
he's
well.
played. It was a great finish. He's played pivotal parts as well in all three games. So um, I, I'm not going to go over the fact that he's not in the Champions League squad, but if injuries do happen, then he will be there, and
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure of that. But no, the attack is very exciting, and then the fact that you obviously add Isak into this as well. Um, this is this is probably our strongest squad that I can actually even remember of. Like the 1920s team, that was fantastic, but I think there's sort of a more attacking sort of influence in this team now than there ever has been.
definitely. John said in the chat, "You can have the win, just no diving in our box. It made me sick against United." Uh, it was a pen, John. I'll give it, but he did go down. I don't know how somebody can go down when his shirt is being tugged upwards. Um, like I
Yeah,
say, it's just
that was very bizarre to tell you
yeah,
the truth.
but
It did look like went down the stages. To be fair,
yeah, it's but that's just the game, isn't it? End of the day, Jaden Anthony should have known better. It's just one of those. Looking at some of the stats then ahead of Sunday's fixture, Burnley have lost 14 of their 18 Premier League matches against Liverpool, so that's a great stat for a start. Um, including each of their last five in a row since a 1-0 win at Anfield in January 2021. Ashley Barnes. Liverpool have won 8 of their 9 away Premier League matches at Turf Moor, only losing 1, winning the last 6 in a row. The Reds have won 7 away top flight games in a row against 3 teams previously. West Brom, which was 8 between 1983 and 2009. Norwich, again, 8 between 95 and 2021. And Crystal Palace, 7 between 2016 and 2022. Liverpool are also looking to win their opening 4 Premier League matches in a season for a third time. They did it in the 18-19 season when they finished second, and obviously the 19-20 season when they won the title. It'll be the third time in a row that the reigning top flight champions have won their first 4 games. The first time ever in top flight history that has happened. Burnley, however, here we go. More negative news for Burnley, unfortunately. Have already shipped 37.5% of their total league goals from the 24-25, which was 16 in the Premier League. It says 16 in the Premier League this season, 6. So yeah, obviously the season that we had in the Championship was phenomenal, but
yeah.
this is why this for me this is it's a nothing stat. But if they concede 2 in this game, it'll be the joint earliest in Football League history. A side has already conceded 50% or more of their goal tally from the previous. I don't get that. That's a stupid stat because obviously if you go unbeaten in a Championship season or something and you ship goals in the Prem, what does it matter? Like it
It's like I said earlier on X. XG must be the most pointless thing ever.
I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. It says Burnley have won 4 of their first 7 Premier League matches against the reigning champions, but they've since lost 10 of their last 11. That sounds contradicting as well. Conceding 30 goals in those 10 defeats. And I'm guessing most of them came against Manchester City. The exception is this run was a 1-0 away win at Liverpool, obviously. Looking at it, big up to Anthony in the chat as well. How you doing, Ant? It says, big up, gents. Good to see you, Doug.
Or Anthony.
And like I say, glad to see you back as well, Mr. Herbert. But yeah, looking forward to this game. Like I said, domestic football's back, coming off the back of that 1-0 against Arsenal. Both sides, could have a different team lineups as well because of the players that have been away on international duty.
Yeah, I expect a couple of changes. I would think. I know people say don't sort of change a winning side. There's talk that Frimpong's back. There's talk that Bradley's back. So whether or not Slot continues with big bad Dom at right back is another matter. But um, I'll tell you now for sure, Isak doesn't start. I think he comes off the bench. I think he's not had much game time, so I think he probably comes on maybe the last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
And to be honest, like I've been looking at your team, and losing a player like James Trafford was always going to be a big loss, especially with the fact that he was your kingpin at the heart of your goal last season. To keep that many clean sheets was very very good. You've obviously lost Egan O'Reilly as well. You know,
yeah,
you've lost that sort of that spine, but I think when you look at the players that you've sort of replaced them with, Martin Dubravka, I think that is a very experienced signing, really good goalkeeper.
on a free as
Um,
well.
on
Fantastic.
on a free, it is as well. Kyle Walker, I think that's going to be a good sign on the right back as well. Um, and obviously the one name where I still can't believe you've got him is Florentino Luis from Benfica. I think that is an unbelievable signing, and probably probably either makes his debut or maybe comes off the substitutes bench on Sunday. No, look, I'm looking forward to the game. Turf Moor's been kind of it's that kind of ground where big teams have struggled in the past,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for us, I don't think we've lost there since I think it was like an Andre Gray double in like
No,
16,
Andre
17.
Gray and Sam Vokes, yeah.
Sam Vokes, yeah.
I wasn't
So
even there that day. I was at Madame Tussauds in London for my birthday, and I just remember being in the shop at the end, and I just thought, "Oh, I'll check the score," and it was something like 80 odd minute, and I'm like, "Oh my god, we are 2-0 up against Liverpool. What the heck is going on?" I'm like, "You've took me to London on my birthday, and Burnley going to beat Liverpool to what the heck is going on?" But I was so made up, and I couldn't wait. I think I was watching the highlights on the tube on the way back to the hotel. It was just, yeah, a good day.
I seem to remember that luminous yellow kit that we had as well,
Yeah.
which wasn't
Is that
great.
the one that looked like it had like a red and yellow racing flag pattern down the side, or
No,
like a checkered?
it was sort of lime. It was like a limey yellow. It was really the it was it. Basically, Warrior had their kits hit and miss.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nike have obviously had their hits and miss, but um, yeah, we're playing on our new third kit on Sunday, so that's something
Yeah, that's
to
that's that's green. It's not lime green, but
yeah. So look, I think Turf Moor is one of those grounds where other sort of big teams have really struggled in the past as well. Um, I do have my sort of you know, feelings on obviously Scott Parker, whether he can definitely adapt. Because I I feel with Scott Parker, he's that kind of manager that when he was at Fulham, didn't adapt to the Premier League at all. When he was at Bournemouth, he didn't adapt at all. So I think the fact that he's now sort of got a third chance with Burnley will sort of make him think that he can adapt to this league. So far from what I've seen, he does look like he is learning from his mistakes, which is always a good thing. I think he's a good manager, especially for I watched a lot of you guys last season in the championship. Um, still
sorry, Dom,
still
I've
baffled.
just found that. I've just found that kit.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's the one I was speaking about.
I couldn't have
Yeah,
found a better picture. Just the second goal on its way in.
good old Dejan Lovren turning his back.
And James Milner, they're trying to catch up in the old Zimmer frame. Love it.
No, fair play for him to
Yeah.
score the penalty for Brighton at the weekend against Man City. But no, like as I said, looking forward to this game. Is I think it's obviously the first game on Sunday, and then obviously you've got the Manc Derby after it.
Yeah, something else
So
that rhymes with mank is the word I was thinking, but yeah.
but no, like it's obviously the last game you had at the turf as well, you beat Sunderland 2-0.
Yeah.
And actually, the players that you've said, I really like Marcus Edwards. I've been kind of one of his sort of big fans when I've obviously watched Sporting play. He's been very, very good, and watching him in a Burnley shirt, he looks really, really good as well. Jaden Anthony, I think, has been a very good signing for you. So we have to be wary. We definitely have to be wary of your front three because, as I said, I'm a little bit. Well, I wouldn't say sort of scared about us defensively, but we can definitely be got at. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I was thinking, I think that's where on the day we need to be when we get those chances to be in and around those sort of areas, we need to be being clinical. We need to be finishing
Yes.
off the moves,
Yeah.
making the right calls, making the right judgment, and things like that. But hopefully it does come good. John says, I think Dubravka has done very well so far. Yeah, I mean he's kept two
Yeah.
clean sheets during the international break as well. One of them against Germany. So I can't fault him at all. Like this is a guy who they say keepers after 35 start to decline, but he's here on a 1 year deal. No, he potentially stays for longer. Who knows, depending on where we are. And he says, "Bloody hell, Dan. I knew you'll say that. You'll turn after me." Eh? Eh?
Yeah.
Um, but no, I'm quite looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting to say the
Mhm.
least. I actually really enjoy these games. I worry every time you get down either wing and all of a sudden there just seems to be that gap where you just end up being and it just it frustrates me and then we go 1-0 down and then the heads go and then it's like 3-4-0 and it's like no, I don't want that to happen. I just hope that we can make Turf Moor a really horrible place to come. We are doing a lot of oh another word for the Manc Derby. Yeah, it wasn't rank. It began with a W. Um, but yeah, it's I'm looking forward to this fixture. Who do we have to look out for? I think you said obviously, Gakpo on that left hand side has been quite sensational. Salah is more Salah, but yeah, if you had to
Yeah.
put it down to one person that we look out for in this game, who would it be?
Uh, I'd probably say Ekateke, to be honest with you. He's been excellent in the first three games. He was great against Crystal Palace as well. I think sooner or later, Florian Wirtz is going to really explode in this league. Scored a magnificent free kick against Northern Ireland for Germany the other day, and you get stupid people saying, "Oh, it was only against Northern Ireland." Still got to finish it.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so yeah, there's Wirtz. I, I think the whole game for me this year or this week is the midfield battle. Um, obviously we'll probably have. I think it's probably going to be Grab and Maka. Alexis McAllister, by the way, probably one of our best midfielders for a long, long time. When he's not playing, you can definitely see it. I think.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, we've got Curtis Jones. He's not got quite that sort of that
See, he's
same
he's he's another one I
factor.
thought may have potentially gone out on loan for a bit more game time, but
There was talk earlier in the window that he could potentially be on his way, but apparently Slot really likes him, so makes sense when you've got a the only Scouser in their team now, which is quite
Yeah.
scary to say. But obviously you've got Endo as well. Sobersley, I suppose you've got to say. I think obviously from corners, Van Dijk is probably the biggest one. Whether he decides to play Kirkes or Robertson as well, bombarding down that left wing. The only thing I would say about Kirkes though, um, Bournemouth he was pretty rash. Newcastle was pretty rash, but I thought he probably had his best game against Arsenal so far. To be fair, we definitely needed to be defensive and resolute.
Mm.
I would say in that game against Arsenal. So no, look, there's a lot of players to look out for. I mean, I'm just looking at your team, and for me, the main dangerman for me is Marcus Edwards. For me, um, very unpredictable we player. As I said, Jaden Anthony started well for Burnley. So look, I think it's going to be very very interesting game. I think it'll be a tight game, to be honest with you, because we just don't know what's going to happen from like the international break. Whether teams can do well after the international break, and they can be a bit slow to get back into the groove of things. So, if you get your chances, you got to take them. I think you've already said that anyway. But get your chances. It's definitely definitely one thing to do for sure.
100%. 100%. Anthony said he's got your striker in the fantasy football team. Doug clearly didn't specify which striker. Could be on about the soon to be 17-year-old, or could be like, to save money on somebody else. But
I'm guessing Ekateki, is it?
yeah, it's got to be, surely. Has to
Gotta
be.
be.
Has to
Yeah,
be.
that. As I said, I do think Isak will try and get up to speed before long. So I can't see Isak starting many games to start the season for sure.
Definitely not. Definitely not. John says we need to double up on Ekatike. Just not being funny. Just stick 11 men up line and get a point. I don't give a shit. But John says for me, the Burnley's danger man is big Les. So yeah, Leslie Ugachukwu from Chelsea and the captain
Oh
Josh
yes,
Cullen. And
yeah.
I think Josh Cullen has been formidable as well. Really stepped up to the mark after being
Mm.
a bit of an unsung hero with Josh Brownhill's heroics. And again, that's a weird one. We'll obviously speak about at some point. But yeah, Josh Brownhill's just left us on a free and gone to Al Shabab in Saudi for
Al
100.
Shabab.
Yeah, yeah. You know that team that sounds like something you'd say to your mate on a night out at 4 o'clock in the morning. How's your kebab? It's like it's yeah. I can't fault him. 29 years old, 2-year deal, 100 grand a week. He's
To
pretty much
to be
setting
to, be- to
himself
be
and his
honest with
family up
you,
for life, isn't he?
Dan, I actually thought he was maybe Leicester bound. Um,
See, I was surprised because we offered him terms, we offered him numerous amounts of deals,
yeah.
try and get him to stay. But in the end, obviously, he fancied a new challenge. We as fans thought maybe it's just that he realised he's not fully. He gets found out a little bit when he plays in the Premier League. Whether he'd get found out in a Scott Parker system, I don't know. He's obviously we won't see that, but he were he's a very very good Championship player.
Mm.
And I thought he would have gone somewhere like that. There was obviously other rumours of Wolves, Leeds interested, but I find it funny how he's actually done an interview for them and said that once I spoke to the Prince, it was I just felt like this move was the right moment for me for the right time, and all of a sudden. I didn't even have any headphones in, but the song Money Talks, Dirty Cash," it was just going through my head, and I'm just like, "Yeah, of course it was Brownie, of course, of course." It's one of those. As soon as you're on EasyJet or Ryanair, you're clearly looking for those flights to Al Shabab. Of course you are.
Just a very weird place to go to.
Yeah,
Um,
strange move. Strange move.
29 years of age. he's probably got still about what 6, 7 years left in him.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
he could
stay
still probably
good.
come back after those 2 years, be financially secure, and not give a shit what club he picks.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there was people joking about online earlier. They were saying, "Oh, he's going to be back in the championship in about 4 months before you know
time will tell. Time will tell. Anthony says Liverpool will win the league. Did I just say that?
it."
He also says he fancies a kebab, and John said I'll have a kebab as well. So
Oh,
uh,
Jesus.
I've got everyone wanting a kebab on a Thursday. Listen, it's nearly the weekend. Save yourself. Save yourself. Treat yourself over the weekend. But no, Doug, I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night as well. So it should be good to chat all things a Burnley perspective. So yeah, any of you Burnley fans watching and watching on catch up, etc., head over to Doug's channel tomorrow, where we will be talking the game, and obviously I'll be speaking from a Burnley perspective about how I think things may pan out. Um, but yeah, again, Doug, thank you very much for coming on. Really do appreciate it. And like I say, it's
My
always good
pleasure,
to
buddy.
get our heads together and chat some football. Fingers crossed one day we can do it over a pint in a pub in person. But for now, shout out your socials. Let us know where people can find you and where they need to go to for tomorrow's match preview.
Yes. So the Dugout Football Channel. I will be making the stream as soon as I'm off of fear. So I'll be doing that. So yeah, 8 o'clock tomorrow. We'll have Mr. Moorhouse with me, so that'll be good. So
I'll be
good to
back.
get. I'll be back. So good to get all things Burnley there. But yeah, you can find me at the Dugout Football Channel on YouTube, Douglas.Hall on Instagram, Enrod_992 Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Douglas James on Facebook, Douglas Horn LFC 92 on TikTok, Douglas Horn LFC 92 on Twitch. As I said, I'm here, there, and everywhere.
Like shit in a field. Love it, love it. Please do go check it out. Obviously, it'll be all over social media, so there'll be an accessible link for you to go head over and get to. But yeah, thank you very much to everybody in the chat. John says next time you stream, Dan, I want to see you eating a kebab. I mean, it's not that sort of channel. You've got to pay £3 a month for all that stuff, my friend. uh, but no, I'm same as Doug. I'm on all social media everywhere but OnlyFans. I say that I'm not even on Facebook anymore. But yeah, check us out and yeah, like, subscribe if you like what you see. Share us, tell us to your friends and things like that. But yeah, thank you again, Doug. Really appreciate all your time and effort. So thank you for coming on. And yeah, until next time, stay tuned. Sunday after tomorrow's podcast with Doug, the game, Burnley versus Liverpool, domestic football's back. Up the Clarets.